Today, I'm really interested in talking about this topic because I finally just got done watching the new Ninja Turtles movie with Ice Cube, and it was very enjoyable, I would say. And when I was watching it, or a little bit after I was done watching it, I had an idea, like, you know what? I kind of want to do a video with like my thoughts on all of the other Ninja Turtle projects, with like the very first movie from the 90s to the live action remake that they did with the big ugly looking motherfuckers. And then the animated one that came out a while back, and then with this one. So before we get into that, I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification down below so you can be notified of new videos that drop. Also, new podcast episode coming out this Sunday. Be sure to check it out. It's going to be dope. I promise. Also, I'm really interested in really discussing this video, or no, this podcast episode is going to be really interesting because some of it's going to be Halloween based, some of it is going to be like Halloween stories and shit, and there's also going to be my insights on the whole Israel issue, so it's like a whole lot of things are going to be discussed. It's going to be like the after Halloween special or some shit like that. I don't know, still thinking of episode titles and shit. But other than that, let's get it cracking. Now, I'm really excited to talk about these movies because growing up, I've always been a fan of the Ninja Turtles movies. From the very first one that came out in the 90s, I was a fucking fan of that movie. It's like I remember I used to have the second one on VHS. And for those who don't know what VHS, it is a big black rectangular movie tape that you would get over at Blockbuster and stuff like that. And so I used to have this one. I used to have Dream Warriors. I used to have Scarface and some Bruce Lee movies. And Friday the 13th, New Blood, I think it was. So it's like that was one of the many VHS movies that I've had. And honestly, man, I figured what better way to really start this video than with the first one that got me started in the very beginning anyways. Starting with number one. Now, for those who've never seen the first one, this one came out in the fucking 90s, so clearly a whole lot of cheesy 90s references and shit, But it was really cool because the way that the puppets were done, they were amazing, especially since they were created by the very man himself, the creator of the Muppets, so it's like clearly you already know that the way that he made them look is astonishing and very, I wouldn't say cartoony, but it's like you can tell that it looks very puppet-like, but in a good way, So I recommend that you guys Google it or watch the movies. And so it was really enjoyable, because you not only got the four Ninja Turtles who finally get to meet April O'Neil, but they're also meeting the Shredder for the very first time and encountering the Foot Clan. So it's like clearly they're trying very hard to like really stay in the shadows, but at the same time, like they're trying to find out who's in charge of the whole thing, So I'm not really gonna give away so much, but with April O'Neil finally meeting the Ninja Turtles, they decide that they have to completely leave New York City for a little bit, just really hide away for a little. And meanwhile, something's going on with Raph. I'm not going to get into that. You guys are going to have to watch it first. And they're trying to find a way how to find Splinter because he was kidnapped. So as they're continuing their hunt for Splinter, and with Raphael being of some help that I'm not going to explain, they all three of them work together along with April O'Neil, and I also forgot to mention, with a very, very interesting hockey mask wearing sports guy who goes by the name of Jesse Jones. So I think that his character was very interesting. I really liked his character. I'm a fan of the actor as well. I think the dude is a really interesting guy to watch. But as they're discovering how to really find out where Splinter is and how to really work as a team, they decide to go back to New York. And when they do, they defeat the Foot Clan, and then they finally face the Shredder for the very first time, but not for the last time. So all four of them team up together with a little bit of help, I'm not going to say, and the movie just ends like in a very positive way, you know. So the very first Ninja Turtle the movie, it was enjoyable, it was dope, it was definitely something that I really enjoyed growing up watching. Until the second one comes out, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secrets of the Ooze. This one was really interesting because it really opened up on the background of how they became what they are. So they ran into a scientist who runs TGRI, who was a scientist that accidentally spilled the ooze. So shockingly, they end up running into a very familiar face that they thought they defeated, only to realize that he ain't going out alone. This time he's got help with some monsters of his own, who happens to be Toka and Razor. So that was a very interesting way of really introducing the characters into the movie. You know, the way that they were done, it was really badass. Still has a very like puppet-esque kind of look to it, but in a good way. Again, it was enjoyable. And they end up getting help from the pizza boy named Kino, who was a bit of help, but at the same time, like a bit of a problem, you know. So like they kind of got some help, but at the same time, they handled it on their own. Now that they end up relocating into a whole new hideout, which was an abandoned underground train station. So note that when this movie came out, this was a little bit before the passing of the creator that made the Muppets and all that. I can't remember his name, shamefully. But this was like the last time that he made them in his vision, and the movie was done excellently for everyone. And this movie also introduced the fucking Go Ninja Go song with Vanilla Ice at one of the final scenes. So the way that this movie was done, it was great as well. The storyline was really fun. Still very much like the original, only they didn't really use their weapons all that much. Weirdly. So the second one, it was dope. I still liked it regardless because these two were my childhood movies. The third one came out. This one I wasn't really feeling all that much because I ended up finding a scepter that takes them all the way back into ancient Japan, which was very cool as an idea, but the way that the movie was executed, it was alright. I kind of liked it, but at the same time, I kind of didn't, you know. It's like it seemed a bit like they kind of tried hard with it, you know. I mean, that's my opinion. I didn't really care for the third one all that much. So when that one came out, it was still cool regardless. Still liked the story and everything. Still like the way that they kept it very ancient Japan, like, you know, with every one of them dressed up as like Ninja Turtle samurais, you know, so that was a really dope idea that they had. But by the time that movie ended, it was very interesting, and sadly, it did not have the same villain as you would expect, but it was still cool regardless. So that was the last live action Ninja Turtles that they did in the 90s. Some time has passed, rumors of a new Ninja Turtles movie came out, which was the TMNT cartoon that came out, let me see when TMNT came out, I can't fucking remember. 2007, yeah. This one came out, it was really, really dope. I really fucked with it. Chris Evans as Casey Jones. You know, it's like it had a whole bunch of very dope voice actors, you know, James Arnold Taylor, fucking Patrick Stewart, Mikey Kelly, Kevin Michael Richardson, who played the general in it. I thought that was really interesting. Kevin Smith, John DiMaggio, Lawrence Fishburne. You know, it's like it had a bunch of like huge actor names, and it was really dope the way that it was done, and I really fucked with it, you know. So this 2007 movie, it was really done excellently. I really loved it, and a lot of the storyline was really dope. You know, it's like you get to see Raphael as the Ronin, and it was really dope the way that he was done. The storyline was astonishing. I loved it. And the characters, it looked really dope. I really fucked with it. I think it was really cool looking to watch, you know, especially with Leo coming back from a long trip that I'm not gonna say. So it's like so much has changed since then. But after that, Leonardo came back to New York. New things are happening that he's not expecting, nor is he ready for. But as long as he's with his brothers, he's up for anything, you know. So the way that this story was done, it was amazing, you know. Ancient stone beings, and like fucking alien monster looking motherfuckers, you know. It's like the way that the movie was done, it was amazing. I loved it. And the way that the ending went out, it was badass, because it really showed a bunch of fucking like references from previous Ninja Turtles movies. So that one was probably my third favorite Ninja Turtles movie. And then the remakes came out mid 2010, 20 something like that. I can't remember. Did I ever tell you guys that I suck at remembering shit? So the way that these live actions were done, a lot of shit was said about it. So it's like the first one, it was pretty cool, you know. It was like a retelling of the story with Megan Fox and with Johnny Knoxville, you know. It's like the way that the story was done, it was good story based. Character wise, not really all that great. You know, the way that they did the Shredder, kind of a disappointment. You know, it was not really the best attempt. You know, I wasn't really feeling all that much. Second one came out, did a smidge better, kind of. It was cool either way, but I don't know, it's like these remakes, they weren't really as great as I hoped. You know, I guess that the second one kind of did a little bit better. You know, it's like I remember that one a little more than I remember the first one. And it fucking had Stephen Amell as Jesse Jones, so that was really interesting. Megan Fox reprising her role is April O'Neil. You know, everyone reprising their roles and everything, and the way that it was done, it was cool. You know, and then they introduced Bebop and Rocksteady, and Brainiac, which was really interesting villain-wise. And so the way that the movie was done, it was interesting. The story was very enjoyable to watch. It was cool, you know, I liked it. A little more than the first one. And finally, with the cartoon remake that came out, this one absolutely had me full of laughs, really kept my focus, easy to like really enjoy. And the way that they made the Ninja Turtles, like they really did try to make them as teenage based as possible, and it was perfect that way, you know, because they're teenagers, they act immature and childish and shit, but at the same time they're like growing up and maturing and all that, you know. So the way that this movie was done, it was cool. I liked it, you know. A lot of huge villains, including like Superfly, Rocksteady, and Bebop again. It was a shame that they didn't have Token and Razor, but at the same time, like, they're just getting started, you know, especially with the sequel. From the way that it ended, really fucking blew my mind, really got me on my knees. Or not got me on my knees, it kept me on my feet, you know. I don't know why I say got me on my knees, that's very fucking inappropriate. But it kept me on my feet, you know, it's like it really caught me by surprise and I was ready, you know. So the way that the Monster Mayhem was done, I absolutely loved it, you know. So the way I would rate these movies, I would rate the first one as the first best, the second one as second best, the TMNT cartoon 2007 as third, Ninja Turtles 3 as 4, the two remakes, I would rate them, like, the first one I give it a 10 out of 10, second one 10 out of 10, TMNT 10 out of 10, the third one 6 out of 10, you know, it was alright, it was half good, half, it was alright. The remakes, 5 out of 5 for both. And with the new one, the Monster Mayhem, I'd give that one I'd give it a 10 out of 10 as well. You know, because again, the way it was done, it was amazing and I loved every bit of it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm very interested in hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions and all that. Did you guys even grow up on the Ninja Turtles that I grew up on, you know? And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace. I got some food that I need to be eating. Because I guarantee that this shit's probably cold as fuck. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.